Hey guys, what's up? Welcome to project number 3, and in this project we're actually going to be rendering a luxurious bathroom. So let's get straight to it. I'm going to simply click on file and I'm going to open up the bathroom design that we are going to be rendering. And it's luxurious because it has a lot of detail in it. We'll also get nice views over here, and we can do a lot of editing and changes as well in it. And you can see I've just quickly opened up the bathroom design, and you can see there's a lot of things happening over here, and a lot of the setup has been done and kept for you because we want you guys to understand the presets. Of course, you can always change material and just directly jump to the entire portion of rendering on your own and your own material and your own colors, but we have preset and we have given it to you as well. Now let's get straight to it, guys. So the first thing that we do is we check out both the scenes. So one of the scenes is us looking in from here, and the other one is us actually looking from here. And you can see over here what we're trying to do is we have actually tried to show some water falling in from here into the tub itself, and this too is a water line, and we'll be showing you guys how to create water as well in Vray. So let me just jump back to scene 2 real quick over here. Well, now the first thing that we want to do is we want to jump up to the materials, and let me introduce you to whatever materials we have applied in this particular project and how we have actually transformed those materials into something great to create really good renders out of. So well, the first thing over here is basically, let me just zoom back in. We can just simply click into scene 1. Over here, the first thing I'm going to select is the flooring, and you can see though it seems like it's white over here, it's actually black over here. And you can see this flooring material has been given a certain texture, and we can see that texture in the bump map over here, and you can actually see how this texture is really looking. Now when I go back over here, we can see this texture is going to show up over here definitely, but maybe we reduce the bump map a little bit so it does not look too rough on the flooring. We'll definitely take out one render after that and see what it really looks like, but you guys can already see that the Vray materials have also been set up in this particular project, so you guys can directly understand how it is looking. Now when I select the portion over here, which is the concrete, you guys can have a look at that. This is the concrete setup, and over here it's a little bit peach. If you want, since this is black, we can actually have this completely white, so all you need to do is just kind of increase that a little bit. But again, you can see the texture over here is quite rough, so the bump is working definitely. Maybe we reduce the bump slightly over here because we don't want to have too much of the texture. Now this is really rough, so that's why the reflection is almost at 0. I think let's just leave it at 0. It's not really necessary to increase the reflection too much over here. Next thing we're going to do is we'll come to the commode and these all places a little later on. Let's kind of fix up all the major materials first, which are really going to affect a lot. Now the next thing I'm going to get into is the particular sofa, which you can see over here. So actually that's a nice chair that we have, and you can see this chair is actually white in color, and that really makes a lot of sense because the ground is dark, it's black, and it will really stand out. But just for a matter of fact, I'm going to try a little different color, a little more brighter color, and something a little bit different, keeping it yellow, just to see how that really looks with the whole vibe. Definitely is going to be a very black and white theme, but let's see how it really looks. Next we've got some wooden things done here. We've got this portion which is like your cabinets. We've got some metal here. Now we need to give this a nice metal finish, so let's just go ahead here to metal, and we can reduce the reflection and the IOR and the glossiness to kind of just make it really dark metal. You guys can see how I'm kind of just initiating that over here. We can increase this glossiness, really dark nice metal, but not too much so that does not reflect a lot. Then we have got the basins over here. Well, I think we can have this to be black sorts of, because I think this would really want to be like a black countertop, which would really look quite nice if we can have this as a black countertop. So I'll increase the IOR and we can increase the glossiness. I think that looks nice. We can switch off the bump. Bump is not that necessary over here. Let's increase this reflection, that glossiness a little high. Yeah, that looks quite nice. Let's see if we switch back on the reflection. Because of the granite, we'll get like the little starry glaze. We can reduce definitely the complete texture in it, and I think this will look really nice. When we have this in our mind, let's just change this to white color, and that would really look good. You can see the tub as well has turned white, so let's just see what it looks like. We can always get that back to black color. And then we've got this already has a nice white pearl metal look, which is of this itself. Here we've got this little, I don't think here we need to have reflection, but definitely I can increase the reflection slightly so that the gloss does come in it as well. Apart from that, you guys can see we've got just some napkins over here, and we've got some of this, so you can actually see here the reflection looks quite good. It's already been given. Certain things like this which have not been given, we can simply change it back into metal, reducing reflection and reducing IOR. Definitely we will need to have this reflection on over here, but let's simply just give it as a little light colored metal glow. Now when I come to this, we actually need these as mirrors. So the first thing you can see is that diffuse is 0, reflection is 100%, refraction is 0, IOR is 100%, fog is switched off and is 0, glossiness is switched on, bump is 0, and opacity is switched off. So that's basically how you're going to create a mirror. But just for this matter, if you want, you can reduce the reflection slightly, and not really necessary. Let's just keep it complete like a mirror initially, and then we'll see what we can do with it. Now I've come to the roof. Now we can see the ceiling as well as the walls are not exactly the same. So for now I'm going to just kind of make it the same. So I'm just going to add that material over there. Definitely you guys can add the material which y'all want. Y'all don't have to follow the same palette. As you can see, I've added this dark metal over here, and this is basically red, so I'm just going to give this nice and emissive. Let's change the color out to white. We can actually go for a little yellow over here, little warm yellow lights. Let's see how it looks. I think that's good enough for the emissive property. I think here also has been picked up with the emissive. Let's have a look at whether it's the same. Yes, that is. Here as well we have got emissive. We've got emissive in really good places, and I really think it's going to come out really nice. Later on we can definitely change the color. Again over here, emissive. Better than that, let me just kind of select this and just place that over here initially, and then we'll see how it really looks, and definitely we can make changes later on. But I usually think the first time you set all the materials is almost like 70% work done, and then we're just kind of editing and making a couple of changes to make it look better. Now definitely where the towel is there, we can come up with a nice geometry, and definitely we need to play with the geometry to not get it too like too much of fur and too much of all of that, but we can work with it. It looks really good. You guys have seen this in the previous projects as well. Let's reduce the length like a lot, just to give it that little fur look, and we'll see how it looks later on. Definitely let's select this napkin as well, and similarly I would suggest in this napkin, let's kind of just go ahead and give it a geometry as well, somewhat like that. And let's go back here, let's reduce that like a lot, and then we'll actually see how it looks in general. And I think we have done most of the things over here, just like maybe this tap if not done yet. So yeah, this will go back to metal. Let's give this something a little different. Let's give it dark, because the tub right now is not dark, it's actually white color. So let's see how that looks in total. I really think it looked great. Let's have a look at how it does anyway. So you can see I've reduced that a lot, just giving a very slate matte kind of a thing going on, with a little bit more reflection. And we've got the water over here, so let me just see how that looks. Okay, this is, wow, it's blue, but let's just see how it looks in the render, and then we can come back to it once more. So the main thing is to actually get to your first render, so you can then see how things are looking, because really until then you really don't know how anything is going to turn out to be. So I'm just going to simply go ahead and click on the render interactive, and let's see what we can get. As you guys can see, the render is starting to take place, and we can already see how it's going to kind of turn out to be. And we can also see a lot of changes that we're going to need to make, especially the yellow chairs. But definitely I think we can see what we're trying to aim towards, and what is really happening is we're getting good clarity in this. If I zoom in a little bit, you can actually see how well it's looking. It's actually going to turn out to be quite good, I think, maybe with the chairs, but the lighting looks quite nice. So before we go ahead with adding any of the cone lights, I'd want to first of all just go and set up some of the things which I feel need to be changed, like maybe the flooring down over here or something like that. So let's just see how we can, you know, have all of that also kind of completely changed out. But definitely you can see over here all the elements are looking really nice. So is the mirror, definitely coming out the way it should. We'll need to actually highlight upon on these couple of things. So let me just do a teapot edit over here, which will basically give me this quite you know, clarified very nicely, just something like that. You can actually see how these are looking. We can get this to be clarified nicely, and that's the good part about this teapot button. We can actually see our particular object which we want to be kind of, you know, moved out and kind of completely clarified for us, so that we really understand how the material look. I'm actually going to take one of something like this as well, which is going to be part of the flooring. Now, as you guys can see, the flooring over here is not really giving out the kind of impression that we want. So what we're going to do is we're actually going to select the flooring one more time, and over here I'm actually going to go ahead and increase the bump over here, kind of just see if that makes, you know, any drastic changes to the whole thing. And I definitely feel that the sunlight is not affecting this entire view too much. So let's see what we can do with that. Sunlight over here I think is enabled definitely, but still I don't see it, you know, affecting too much. It could be because of the shadows as well, so we can have a look at that later. So I'm just going to stop this and close this right now. Now we know a couple of changes which can be done. Definitely I want this yellow chair to become completely white. I think that's one of the changes that I want. Second is I want the bathtub in total to actually change its entire, you know, color in total, and I want it to kind of become like black color. So I'll actually select another color which I can just simply put on over here, and I'll actually give that color you know, paint, and I'm gonna change that to really like dark black color, and that's what I really want. I want something which, you know, looks really good like this. Well, definitely it has to be glossy. And before I do any of that, can I just go ahead here and take a render, and that's the best way to do it. Hit the interactive button and let's see how this looks. And the best part of interactive is you can actually work along, you know, with while you're actually seeing the whole thing, you know, coming to life. You can actually see how everything is looking, whether you're getting what you want, whether you're following everything. So you guys can see over here how this is kind of you know, ending up to look like. And we're even going to be talking about how, you know, the external lighting can be, you know, completely taken care of by us itself. Now over here what I'm going to do is I'm just going to kind of make this 11, because I really want it to be a little bit more brighter for us to understand what the texture is really looking like.